Welcome to myprojectbazaar.com. The project title is an energy efficient, delay aware and lifetime balancing data collection protocol for heterogeneous wireless sensor networks. Now going to explain the abstract. In this paper they propose a data collection protocol called EDAL, which stands for energy efficient, delay aware, lifetime balancing data collection. It is developed for two constraints, one for centralized and another one was for distributed. For centralized environment, they proposed a centralized heuristic algorithm which is used to reduce the computational overhead. In a distributed environment, they proposed a distributed heuristic algorithm for a large scale network operations. Now going to explain the data flow of the process. Here we are considering centralized and distributed heuristic algorithm. First we see about centralized heuristic, and here first have to establish the network. It's nothing but have to consider the users with different types of considerations. Based on that, have to discover the neighboring using the gradients distance formula. After that, there is a two phases in the centralized heuristic algorithm. That is, first one is route construction, which is called by RPFIH. The second technique is tableau search. First have to construct the routes via iteration process. Based on the tableau search technique, have to form the efficient optimal path. Based on that path, have to collect the data by the sync node from all the source nodes. In distributed heuristic, we have the same process until a neighbor's discovery. After that, here also two processes are considered. First one is status gossiping. Is like based on the ant colony optimization algorithm. Here the ants are forwarded and the ants are gossiping to the other ants in the status. After that, have to construct the route. After constructing the optimal route, have to collect the data by the sync node. Finally, the performance evaluated for both the centralized and the heuristic in terms of computational overhead and the transmission energy considerations and the transmission time for both the centralized and the distributed heuristic algorithm. Now going to show the demo of the process. This is our home page of our process. Here we are consider our title, energy efficient, delay aware and lifetime balancing data collection protocol. Now going to enter into the process. Here we have already said that we are considering centralized heuristic algorithm and second one is distributed heuristic algorithm. After performing these two, we have to evaluate the performance. First we enter into the centralized heuristic algorithm. Here have to enter the minimum number or maximum number of nodes. Now I am entering the number of nodes. Now successfully get the number of nodes for creating the sensor nodes. So now we are creating the sensor nodes, nothing but different type of sensor nodes with the different parameters. Now you can view the node details which are created here. Now we are entering into the next process. Then going to estimate the distance using equation distance formula between each and every nodes. Now successfully calculated. Next, now going to view the calculated distance between each nodes which are considered source and the destinations, and distance is shown here. Next we are going to the next process. Here we are going to construct the minimum cost path. For that have to get the sync node and have to get the source node. And for centralized, here we are considering the threshold range as 400. Here we are considering the distance within the 400 only. First have to get the nearby nodes for the sync node, and you have to get the nearby nodes for the selected source node, and you have to select one by nodes and get the nearby nodes. Have to select each node as a source node except the sync node, and finally 6th node is selected here. Now we're going to get the minimum cost path which is constructed successfully. Now we can view the path details. Then you have to enter into the next process. Then first have to get the iterated paths and have to calculate the transmission time between each path and have to get the best path based on the transmission time. Now we can view the optimal paths as a source and the route and the distance and finally the destination and the transmission time for each and a path. Now can enter into the next process. Here the term search form is considered here. First we have to get the taboo move list and we can view here which is a route 1 and the route 2. Those are the move list paths. Now have to get the candidate list path. Those are the node IDs and have to get the number of iterations for each and every process. The iteration count is shown here. Now the path is constructed, so the data collection process have to be shown here. Now have to consider the source and the destination forms and the route forms also. First we are taking the source node form and have to consider the route node forms. Those are as a forwarded nodes. And finally have to consider the sync node here. Here first have to get the source ID. The selected source node is 1 and have to get the route detail. We can know here that next route node ID is 2 and have to collect the detail in each and every node. For that now we are going to collect the detail. So successfully the collected node detail is shown here and have to enter the port number to send the detail to the route. Have to consider the next route ID and get the next forwarded ID. The next node is a sync node, so no need to get the route node 2 here. So first here have to receive the forwarded details and here have to forward the details to the sync node. So have to get the sync node ID and have to enter the correct port number and we have to collect the data in the sync node from the source node 1 and have to save the details. As like that, have to consider the further nodes and have to get the route node ID. So here collecting the details and we can view here. Next have to give the node correctly and consider the route node ID and here also there is no need of the second forwarded. Here we are receiving the content and we are going to forward it to the sync node. Finally here received and here save the details. So like that here I have to consider the each and every source node. Have to collect the details and you have to view the details here. So here we forwarded here and get the route node ID and here also the no need of route node 2 for the collection process. So first here we have to receive here and forward the detail to the sync node and save the details successfully. Now considering the source node 4 and the route node ID is 6, have to collect the details and view the details here and have to get the route node ID and have to get the forward node ID. So here have to enter into the save node and have to forward it to the sync node and have to receive here and save the details. And now select the source node ID as 5 and get the route node detail. And so here have to collect the details for that and here have to view the details as like it and here forwarding it to the and the forwarded node ID is as a sync node and here receiving it and here we are forwarding it to the sync node and finally received here and here we are saved. Then The selected source node is 6 and there is no root node, so the final destination is sync node. As directly we are connecting here, first have to collect the details and have to view the details, and we are forwarded to the sync node directly, and here we are receiving it and save the details. Now the process is finished. The finished process called as data collection process, which have collected the data from all the source node to the sync node. Now have to enter into the next process, is the transmission details. Have to get the details, and here you can view the details here. Then have to enter into the distributed heuristic algorithm. In distributed heuristic algorithm also you have to consider the number of sensor nodes, and based on the gated number of nodes you have to create the sensor nodes here. You have to view the node details, then enter into the next process. Here also I am using the Euclidean distance to calculate the distance between each and every node successfully. Then we are entered into the next process. The next process, status gossiping form. First have to get the sync node and the source node. Based on the selected node have to get the nearby node details. Like that have to get the node detail, nearby node details for each and every selected source nodes, which is called the source and root and the distance between each and every node. Now going to enter into the trial process. Then I can view the details, which is nothing but the source and the destination and the distance between each roads, and have to enter into the gossip details. First have to get the node 1 gossip detail. Like that have to get the all node source details, source, root and the distance details for the all nodes. Then finally enter into the next process. Here have to construct the routes based on the iterated paths which is previously obtained. Next, based on that have to calculate the transmission time. Then based on the transmission time have to get the best path. So we can view the optimal path here between the each source and the final destination sync node with the transmission time. Now have to show the transmission process between each and every source and sync node. Now going to show the data collection process between each source node and the sync node. First have to run the source and the root nodes and the sync node forms here. First the source node is considered here, and have to get the root nodes and the sync node forms one by one. The first forwarded, and have to get the second forwarded node, and finally have to get the sync node. So first have to get the source node ID, which is selected here, and have to get the root detail for that. So the root node ID is 3, so here have to consider the root node for the further transmission, and have to collect the details for the selected source node, and here we can view the details. So here have to give the port number, and here forwarded. Here have to get the root node ID and get the forwarded node ID. The forwarded node ID is sync node 7, so no need to get the root node form 2. So here have to enter the same port number to receive the detail, and have to forward it to the sync node. Have to get the sync node here, and have to collect the data of the source node. Next have to get the next source node ID and get the root detail. Root detail is 3, and have to collect the detail, and here we can view the detail. So have to send, and have to get the root detail, have to get the forwarded detail. So here have to receive the detail. After receiving, have to forward it to the sync node. For that I have to enter the port detail, and have to get the sync node, and have to receive by the sync node here, and have to save the detail. Next have to select the further source node, and have to get the root node details. Then have to collect and view the details here. Then have to forward it to the details and have to get the root node ID and the forwarded node ID. Here also there is no need of root node 2. Then have to receive the detail here and have to forward it to the sync node and have to save the details. Like that have to perform for each and every source node and have to collect the details and have to view here. So have to send, have to root node and have to get the next forwarded ID here and have to receive here and have to forward it to the sync node. Next have to receive the data to the sync node from the source node. Like that have to perform it for the root node 5 and have to collect the details and view the details and here have to forward it to the sync node and have to forward it to the sync node. Data is successfully collected from the source node to the sync node and saved successfully. Then have to choose the root node 6 here and have to collect the detail and have to view the detail here. And here forwarding it to here. And finally it is received by the sync node and have to save the details. Have to enter into the next process. Here we can get the transmission details successfully. Next have to evaluate the performance for both the centralized and distributed heuristic algorithm. First have to evaluate the computational time overhead for the centralized heuristic and have to get for the distributed heuristic. Next have to get the average node number versus delay constraint. Next have to get the network energy versus delay constraint. Thanks for watching.